Well, we knew this day was coming, man. We knew the moment was coming, but it's finally here, man. The Detroit Lions announced their roster moves for today. Says Lions announce roster moves, place defensive end Aidan Hutchinson and defensive lineman Kyle Peko on injured reserve, sign defensive end Isaiah Thomas, Kobe, to the active roster from the Cincinnati practice squad. And they put that in parentheses because when you sign someone from a practice squad, it has to go to the active. He has to go to the 53-man roster. So Lions went into the game against the Dallas Cowboys with one available roster spot. That is now became 2 for a total of 3 after the injuries to Hutch and Peko. And now with the signing of a practice squad individual, he has to go immediately to the active roster. That's how it works, signing a practice squad. The same would be true for us if somebody was signed from our practice squad. So got a little emotional, man. And just for the record, I did not forget about Kyle Peko. It's unfortunate because while all we could really think about was Hutch, and Peko's injury was kind of quiet as far as like I was commentating and things like that, and then heard that he was out, and because Hutchinson's was much more serious. I mean, this thing was borderline life-threatening. That's why they had to have emergency surgery. And as an individual who's broken my leg before and had both times life-threatening, I know what that's like. So we did not forget about Kyle Peko. He just kind of got drowned out by the seriousness of the injury to the Aidan Hutchinson. But Kyle Peko, for those of you who aren't familiar with this, he actually had a torn pectoral muscle. So that is it seems like everyone is Emmanuel Mosley, pectoral. Kyle Peko, pectoral. I was going to say C.J. Gardner-Johnson last year, pectoral. Frank Ragnow, partially torn pectoral. That's a word that literally is going to be in our mind forever. The word pectoral. So both guys are gone. They now join Marcus Davenport, Derek Barnes, and others that are on injured reserve for the season. So it's unfortunate. And again, the torn pectoral muscle, it depends on what time it happens, like what time of year it happens, the severity of it. We saw C.J. Gardner-Johnson come back in 3.5 months. And I would assume that if you really, really worked hard, if the body was conducive to healing, then you could come back as well. But Kyle Peko, a guy that we brought in and we had to play musical roster with him early in the season to make a spot for him. So now, yeah. So, I mean, we knew it was coming, right? And this is less than 48 hours from the injury to Hutch. And I, as a person, and it's kind of crazy, man, and how, like, these guys are family. Like, we don't know them. I personally don't know anybody who plays for the Detroit Lions, but it feels like I do. And including Peko, man. But Hutch to me holds a special place to me. The reason I said today, I'm surprised that Brad Holmes he drafted Aidan Hutchinson, because it just seems like that defensive ends are his kryptonite. That's all I meant. I said during the stream of when Hutch was drafted, like, Hutch to me is special. And I think the thing that takes him over the top for me is the fact that he's a defensive end. And y'all have no idea. Before Lions Syndicate was a thing, when I used to make videos on my other channel, and before I even thought about coming on YouTube, defensive end is something that I have wanted to have. But especially since I've been on the platform, then we get a guy who was born and raised in Michigan, Michigan native, Ann Arbor, raised in Plymouth, all of that stuff. To see him and for him to be the anchor of our defense. It would be the same for me if we lost Jared Goff. And that's no disrespect to any of these guys. If Dan Skipper was hurt, I'd be sick, right? So Hutch, to me, being the heart and soul of the defense, I think it does hit different. It hits different from, I don't know, a C.J. Gardner-Johnson. C.J. Gardner-Johnson wasn't even worthy of the appreciation that he got. He wasn't. He wasn't, man. He didn't do anything compared to what Hutch did. He brought us moments of gimmicks, but Hutch, man, is the real deal. He's the real deal, and I think that's why it hurt so much, right? So not looking over any other guys, man. Kyle Peko, not looking over him. It's tough because we knew it was coming, but it's kind of like I was saying today earlier in one of my videos, maybe it hasn't come out yet, about the stages of grief. Like, it felt like, y'all don't understand. So if you're in the stream, I'm celebrating his sack, and the camera cuts to him. He doesn't get up. And then, so it's the wide shot. Then it's the tight shot. and the tight shot is showing his face. And I didn't even know what happened yet. And so it instantly sucked all the life, all the joy, the absolute beatdown. The Dallas Cowboys are in shambles right now. Jerry Jones is making a fool of himself. Cowboys creators are losing their mind. And instead of basking in that, I'm worried about the guy. And I think for me as well, because I broke my leg, I broke my femur twice. Once when I was 6, I got hit by a car. When I was 14, I was playing tackle football just because. Broke it twice. And both times was life-threatening. One, I had a compound that did, it was bad. And I have the scars and all that from that. And then the second time, it never broke the skin. But it was 2 inches from me needing a new hip. So Hutch, man, this whole, not only him as a person, him as a position, him as a player, and then what happened to him, man, it really does hit home for me. So that's what it is. But, all these players, man, they're part of the team. They're part of the family. That's why we get so emotional when we talk about this team. That's why you and I, but to some extent, we look at each other like family, right? Like we don't know each other. Some of y'all met in person and y'all come out to meet me and stuff like that. And it feels like we've been knowing each other, right? Because we have the common, and that's why this thing is so much more than football. And that's why this injury hurts like it does. So it really, even seeing his name, and I'm gonna be real, man. I've never felt like this about a Detroit Lion. Stafford being on injured reserve and stuff like that. I don't know, man. It could be with me getting older and things, being a father, a husband. I don't know. It just hit different. It hits different. So anyway, our guys are on injured reserve, and they're not the only ones. That list is piling up. But Dan Campbell let us know today. I will say this. I don't think it's the end of the season. I think it's going to be difficult. But I think that if it's one team that can't do it, you know what? I said during the offseason, and when we lost to the 49ers and we were looking for talent, is grit going to be enough to win a Super Bowl? Aidan Hutchinson was the perfect combination of grit, talent, and culture, right? You don't find it. You can't just find that anywhere, right? And I don't know if I believe that grit is enough, but I tell you what I do believe. I believe that if these group of guys are going to come together, and they already play a warrior sport, they're going to come together for their brother. And people were saying, stop talking about him in the past tense. He's not dead and stuff like that. No, he's not. But it feels like a death happened, sort of, right? Same thing if Jared Goff goes down. It feels like we lost something, right? So I think these guys are going to come together. And David Montgomery said it the best. He said, Terrion Honor said we got him. David Montgomery said we're going to take it personal. He said we're going to take it personal. And that tells me that they are going to use this as motivation to make sure they deliver for 97. So anyway, get well, rest up, Hutch, man. We miss you. And we'll see you, bro. We're going to see you. But the cool part is, by the time we're on Woodward, you'll be able to walk again. So we'll see you there, man. I truly believe. I don't know if we got the talent, but I know that sometimes will and determination can be all you need. And I believe that after the injury to Hutch and seeing the other guys go out, Derek Barnes and stuff like that, but Hutch was the tipping point. Like, you cannot replace this guy, right? That this team is going to come together, and that might be what does it. It might be what does it. So anyway, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Put in the comment section, I don't know, put your favorite hashtag for Hutch. Whatever it is. 97, get better, prayers up, whatever it is, throw a hashtag in the comment section. This channel is made possible by viewers, subscribers, and members just like you. You could be anywhere else on YouTube, but you choose to rock with me. You guys are awesome. Take care of yourself and each other. And as always, go Lions. Hutch, we miss you, man. And we'll see you soon. Get well.